Good morning. Good morning and welcome to Homecoming Reunion Weekend 2017. My name is Eric Teal, class of 1991, and I have the honor of serving as the president of the Rhodes College International Alumni Association, and this meeting is now called to order. Let's begin today's program by saluting our reunion classes. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise at this time and clap your hands to the fight song performed by Mary Nell Branch, the class of 1977, as student government president. Thomas Mitchell, class of 2018, leads the procession of the class banners. Celebrating their 5th year reunion, the class of 2012. The 10th year reunion, the class of 2007. The 15th year reunion, the class of 2002. The 20th year reunion, the class of 1997. Celebrating their 25th reunion, the class of 1992, the 30th reunion, the class of 1987, the 35th reunion, the class of 1982, the 40th reunion, the class of 1977, the 45th reunion, the class of 1972, and now our Golden Links, celebrating their 55th reunion, the class of 1962, and celebrating their 60th reunion, the class of 1957. Celebrating their 50th reunion and becoming the newest members of the Golden Links, please welcome the class of 1967. Members of the class of 1967, please remain standing. Everyone else may be seated. The class of 1967, please remain standing. Members of the class of 1967, this day must have looked very far off when you were a college freshman in the fall of 1963. So congratulations on reaching this milestone, quite an achievement. I hope everyone will join me in another round of applause celebrating the 50th anniversary of the class of 1967. You may be seated. The Rhodes International Alumni Association sends its best regards to all classes celebrating a class reunion this year. Have a great time renewing your college friendships this weekend. I also want to thank Mary Nell Branch, class of 1977. She was a former president of the Rhodes Alumni Association, and for getting us the school spirit today on the fight song. Thank you, Mary Nell. You're following a tradition that was set by our late and beloved pianist, accompanist, Professor David Ramsey, who was in the class of 1961. So thank you, Mary Nell. I now call on Reverend Dorothy Sanders Wells, member of the class of 1982, to lead us in our invocation. Originally from Mobile, Alabama, Dorothy currently serves as director of St. George's Episcopal Church in Germantown, Tennessee. Dorothy graduated from Rhodes Phi Beta Kappa with a bachelor's degree in vocal performance. She obtained her JD from the University of Memphis and practiced law for 18 years before being ordained as a priest. Dorothy was named the 2011 Rhodes College Black Student Association Distinguished Alumni and was presented the Algernon Sidney Sullivan Award by Rhodes College in 2015. She is a former member of the Alumni Association Executive Board and currently serves as a vice chair of the Board of Directors of the Metropolitan Interfaith Association. Dorothy.
Thank you. I really wasn't expecting that much of an introduction. So thank you and good morning. As we gather today to ask God's blessing on this college and on this incredible time that we have together, we are privileged to recall our commemoration of a couple of very important things. First, of the women first being admitted to this school as full students in 1917, and the 100 years of women sharing in the full life of the Rhodes community. And the second thing that we commemorate this year is the 50th reunion year of the first African-American student to graduate from Rhodes, and that is Joss Moss Ayatt. So we are so privileged to be able to recall and commemorate those things as we gather today to ask God's blessing. First, please join me in a moment of silence to remember those members of the Rhodes community, faculty, staff, and alumni who have died during the past year. I think you'll find their names printed in today's program. And for those of you who have lost friends, classmates, and loved ones during the year, we do hope that you will take the opportunity while you're on campus to stop by the Dodrell Memorial Garden on the south side of Fisher Garden for a time of remembrance. Please join me in prayer. Holy Creator and source of life, we give you thanks for this day, for the privilege of being gathered together in this place where so many lives have been shaped, where so many friendships have been formed, and where the fire of learning has been kindled within so many. We give you thanks for Rhodes College, and we ask your continued blessing on this college, the students, the professors, the administrators, the staff, and all those who in the future will come to this place to learn and to grow. Continue to guide those in leadership, that this may always be a place that fosters a spirit of learning and of friendship and of transcending barriers. Continue to guide the students, that they may grow in intellect and in community, and with a spirit to go forth into the world to make a difference. Bless our time of being brought together. May friendships be renewed and memories be enlivened. Give us grace to be thankful for all of the good gifts that we have gathered here, and help us use those gifts to your glory and to care for those in need around us. For all of your good gifts, we give you thanks. Keep us in your love and grace forever. We ask these things in the name of our holy, loving God. Amen.
Thank you, Dorothy. Next, we will hear from the president of Rhodes Student Government Association, Thomas Mitchell. Thomas is a senior from Knoxville, Tennessee, pursuing a double major in political science and educational studies. As a service scholar in the Bonner program and a former student director of the Rhodes Kinney program, he's been involved in campus-wide efforts to engage students in service and leadership. Last April, Thomas was named a 2017 Truman Scholar, one of the most prestigious national scholarships in the United States. After graduation, he plans to pursue a master's degree in public policy and education and a law degree. Ladies and gentlemen, Thomas Mitchell.
Thank you for your introduction, Eric. Good morning. Friends, family, welcome. Welcome home. I want to first acknowledge and thank each and every one of you for the work that you've done in laying the foundation upon which current students, including myself, now stand. We are so very grateful for the work that you've done here and the work that you've done and continue to do in your communities and around the world. If you haven't noticed, there have been some pretty big changes here at Rhodes. And I won't go through all of them, but I think I'd be criminally negligent to miss this point, and that is the addition of our new president, Dr. Marjorie Haas. In our short time together, I have become fully convinced the job was made for her and that she was made for this job. She has an incredible vision for this institution and a nearly unparalleled commitment to the liberal arts. I will tell you the same thing that I told our first years at opening convocation this year. I'm envious of the future of Rhodes College because I won't be a student here. And lest there be any doubt, I know, let me make this clear, the best days of Rhodes College are yet to come. And that being said, as all of you know, graduation does not mean the end of your commitment to this institution. In fact, as an alum, the sky might very well be the limit to your involvement in the life of this institution. And that, I think, leads a bit in student government's vision for this year. When I became president, I was charged with creating a vision and a mission for our student body. And so it's two-pronged. The mission is that it's our job to do all that we can to make Rhodes College better today than yesterday, and better tomorrow than today. And the vision, the part that I really love the most, is that we want to put out a welcome mat that says very clearly, no matter who you are or where you are on your journey at Rhodes College, you are welcome here, you belong here, this is your home. And whether you are a first-year student and it's your first day, or it's your 50th anniversary and it's your reunion, you are still on our journey here at Rhodes College. And so that welcome mat extends to each and every one of you as well. Throughout your time here this weekend, I hope that you're able to reconnect with old friends, relive and make new memories, and grow even closer to the college we call home. Thank you all so much, and on behalf of the students of this institution, we are so glad you're here. Welcome home. Roll Lakes.
Next, it is my pleasure to introduce President Marjorie Haas. Dr. Haas began her tenure as the 20th president of Rhodes College on July 1st. Previously, she had been the president of Austin College and provost of Muhlenberg College. A professor of philosophy, she was recognized for her teaching excellence, a board member of the Association of American Colleges and Universities, and a former chair of the board of the National Association of Independent Colleges and Universities. Dr. Haas is nationally recognized spokesperson on the value of a liberal arts education. She has served on the board of the Council of Independent Colleges and as a presidential sponsor for the Texas Women in Higher Education Conference. She holds a bachelor, master's, and PhD in philosophy from the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. As we celebrate the 100th anniversary of women being admitted to Rhodes on an equal basis as men, how fitting that we also welcome the first woman to serve as our president. I am honored to present our president, Dr. Marjorie Haas.
Thank you. Welcome back to Rhodes College. It is a thrill, and perhaps a little bit of an awkward thrill, for me to be up here as a newcomer, welcoming you, who have known and loved the college for decades. But even though I am just turning the corner on my first 100 days as your president, I already feel part of this family. I came to Rhodes for the same reasons our students do. I wanted to be part of a first-rate liberal arts college that stands uniquely within one of our country's most historic and most vibrant cities. I wanted to be part of this family. Larry and I, my husband Larry and I, have been warmly welcomed by Roadsters and Memphians alike as we have embraced our new home with enthusiasm and a sense of mission. A president's job is to change the things that must change and to fiercely protect and preserve the things that should never change. I hope that as you spend time at Rhodes, you see much that is new. A renovated Briggs Hall, a new Robertson Hall, a more diverse set of students, updated majors, deeper relationships with the city of Memphis, and highly innovative pedagogy. I also hope that you feel right at home this weekend because you see and feel the same things that made Rhodes a place of transformation for you. A supportive community, an emphasis on excellence, and a student-centered, relationship-driven learning environment. As many of you know, and as we just heard, a few stained glass ceilings were shattered when the Board of Trustees invited me to serve as the 20th president of Rhodes College. I'm the first woman and the first Jewish person to hold this office. This is exciting for me personally, but I also hope it stands as a symbol of Rhodes' ability to adapt and to embrace the talents in all of us. As we commemorate the 100th anniversary of the college's admission of women, we celebrate a remarkable legacy of learning and leadership. But we remember as well that initially only white women were welcomed. And even then, we were ordered to never be more than 10% of the class. But Rhodes' history is one of ever-growing evolution towards inclusion. And so all of you and I stand here together, walking through doors that were opened by others and holding those doors even wider for those who come after us. I've spent the past few months in conversation with our students, our faculty, our staff, with community members, alumni, and friends of the college. I've sought to understand what I see as the three cornerstones of our college: its mission, its culture, and its business model. Yesterday, I met with the board of your Alumni Association to give them a report on what I have learned. In sum, the first cornerstone, the college's mission, is healthy and strong. There is near universal agreement that the heart of what we do is, and I'm quoting from our mission, is, quote, to graduate students with a lifelong passion for learning, a compassion for others, and the ability to translate academic study into effective leadership and action, end quote. There's that same agreement that we do this work in the context of a warm and engaged residential community, and that our teaching and learning remains, I know it's unusual in this wired world, face-to-face and holistic. The second cornerstone, the culture of the college, continues to evolve towards a vision of full inclusion where every Rhodes student feels fully at home and at the center of that experience. And we're fully committed to building on those efforts and continuing them. The third cornerstone, our business model, is healthy and robust. Our budget is balanced. Our endowment is growing. Our alumni are generous, and our students are willing to invest in a Rhodes education. But each of these revenue streams will need tending if we are to keep Rhodes affordable for the next generation. In sum, your alma mater remains a remarkable place, a college that is at once timeless and deeply engaged in its times, with its times. I hope you are as proud of us as we are of you. I hope that you will stay close to us and pay forward all that Rhodes has offered to you. There's three things I ask of every alum. Help us identify talented students, contribute to the annual fund, and brag about us to everyone you know. You can do that humble brag thing, but brag about us nonetheless. You have my commitment that I will bring my mind, my heart, and my spirit to my work here. God bless Rhodes College and all of it, and all of her people. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Haas. We look forward to your next 100 days. Since Convocation doubles as the annual meeting for the Rhodes International Alumni Association, I now have the pleasure of opening the business segment of our gathering. This is the first order of business is to recognize the Alumni Association Executive Board by asking them to stand as they do, and I want to call particular attention to the members of the Executive Board who completed their terms and at the end of the year. Those rotating off the board, and please stand, Victor Evans, class of 2008, Pat Neal, class of 1978, Suzanne Gauntz Perlis, class of 1990, Joey Dudek, class of 1993, Wes Metter, class of 2000, Anders Reynolds, class of 2004, Calvin Biggers, class of 2003, Victoria McCullough, class of 2007, and Rachel Woods, class of 2010. Thank you all so much for your service to the college. Also, I would like to thank and remind all of the members who are on the board. So much, I think, is about servant leadership, and our alumni board have members who give back to the college, both in time and treasure and resources. So, again, I want to thank all those members who are rotating off the board, and thank you for your service to the college. It's now my pleasure to introduce the nominees for the Alumni Executive Board who've been invited to serve by the nominating committee and affirmed by the board. Pending their approval by this body, they will serve 3-year terms beginning January 1st and conclude at the end of 2020. So please stand as I call your name if you're here. Libby Bryan, class of 1985. Donna K. Fisher, class of 1971. Sam Albritton, class of 1982, Angela Gailey Laster, class of 1992, Kristen Taylor Duncan, class of 1996, Alpha Syntagogue, class of 1998, Michael Thompson, class of 2000, Park McHenry, class of 2003, Ross Hilliard, class of 2007, Andrea Bell, class of 2009. Thank you all, and you may be seated. At this time, I will entertain a motion to accept the recommendation of the Alumni Association Executive Board and its nominating committee that these alumni be elected to the Alumni Association Board.
I so move.
May I hear a second? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Congratulations, all of you, and welcome to the board. In other business, the following alumni are recommended to serve in leadership roles for the Alumni Association. Josh Solomon, class of 2000, as secretary for a 1-year term. Christy Weir Kruger, class of 1985, as president-elect. If elected, Christy will become president of the Alumni Association at homecoming of 2019. At this time, I will entertain a motion to accept the recommendation of the Alumni Association Executive Board and its nominating committee that these alumni be elected to leadership positions of the Alumni Association Board.
I so move.
We have a motion. May I have a second? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Congratulations to all of you. As you know, Bill Townsend, class of 1984, is our sitting president-elect, but we have a custom of confirming that election in this convocation. Do I hear a motion to confirm Bill Townsend as president of the Rhodes College Alumni Association? I move. Is there a second? Those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Aye. The ayes have it. Congratulations, Bill.
Good morning. That was interesting. Thanks to all of you for your efforts on behalf of the Rhodes International Alumni Association. We have had an amazing couple of years. On behalf of the Rhodes College Alumni Association, I want to thank Eric for everything that he has done in his leadership tenure. This past 2 years, the college has faced a lot of challenges, both internally and externally. And Eric has guided us as an alumni board, working with the administration, and we've sailed through those and are going to smoother waters. So Eric, I want to make a presentation to you. Thank you very much for all of your help. You've been great to work with. And I think we have a small token of our appreciation. Now, I get to make a special presentation, the University Hilton Award. This award goes to the reunion class with the highest percentage of members registered for homecoming. The permanent plaque is assigned from the old university dorm that hangs in the newly renovated Links Lair. The winning class is the class of, Tracy?
1967.
1967. Congratulations. With the business portion of our meeting concluded, it is now my pleasure to give special recognition to alumni who have inspired us by their dedication and service during the past year. Assisting me in these recognitions are Director of Alumni Relations Tracy Vesna-Patterson, class of 1984, Jamar McCain, class of 2019, and President Haas. First, Tracy will present the Distinguished Service Award.
Good morning. The Rhodes College Distinguished Service Award recognizes alumni who have performed outstanding service to the greater community. Today, I am honored to present the 2017 Distinguished Service Award to Pat Morgan from the class of 1991. Pat Morgan was 49 years old when she entered Rhodes College full-time, a divorced mother of 3 sons, a former banker, former elected official in Crittenden County, Arkansas, and a successful real estate broker with million-dollar sales awards to her credit. In addition, she had spent 5 years serving the homeless through the street ministry of Calvary Episcopal Church in downtown Memphis. It was in this role, fighting to obtain life-saving medical, mental health, and addiction treatment for the homeless, where Pat discovered her passion in life's work. However, in 1987, she realized she had reached a personal stumbling block in her work for the homeless. Not only did she need the academic credentials to be more credible, she also needed to develop her knowledge base and her communication skills. That's when Pat saw a brochure advertising the Rhodes Adult Degree Program and enrolled. As a student, her focus, passion, and exceptional academic record caught the attention of Professor of Political Science Marcus Pullman, who encouraged Pat to apply for the Time Magazine College Achievement Award, a competitive program recognizing individual excellence in the nation's most outstanding college juniors. Pat was selected out of more than 500 applicants. At age 51, the oldest recipient and the first ever student from Rhodes College to receive the award. Pat's final year as a Rhodes student was spent participating in the Washington, D.C. semester program. In D.C., Pat learned that winning the war on homelessness required changing national policy. So after graduating in 1991 with a degree in urban studies, Pat became a political activist and joined Bill Clinton's presidential campaign. His victory resulted in her presidential appointment to the Department of Housing and Urban Development in the Interagency Council on the Homeless, a role that enabled her to develop a national plan to break the cycle of homelessness and prevent future homelessness. After 6 years in D.C., Pat returned to Memphis to serve as the executive director of Partners for the Homeless, Memphis's lead agency for the continuum of care system of outreach, shelter, services, and housing for homeless people. And though she retired in 2010, Pat continues to serve as a fierce advocate on behalf of the homeless. Pat has received numerous awards for her work, including the 2017 Legends Award from the Women's Foundation of Greater Memphis, the Humanitarian Award by the Memphis chapter of the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and the Women of Achievement Award for Courage in 2005. Pat has contributed to several national publications on chronic and family homelessness, but none as compelling as her powerful memoir published in 2014, The Concrete Killing Fields, One Woman's Battle to Break the Cycle of Homelessness, which has won 5 National Book Awards. According to Pat, I wrote The Concrete Killing Fields primarily because I wanted more people to understand that underneath the grime and stench of the streets there's a person, not all that different from the rest of us, who has experienced a litany of losses, including health, mental health, sobriety, jobs, opportunities, families, and friends. Housing is the last thing they lose in becoming homeless. Professor Pullman offers this about Pat. From the first day Pat Morgan graced the door of my classroom, it was very clear she was special. Just how special quickly became obvious. In more than 40 years of college teaching, I have never come across a student who embodies Pat's combination of being intelligent, insightful, genuine, self-assured, and endlessly compassionate. She was a model student, everything Rhodes College stands for, and she has continued throughout her life to blossom into a national treasure. In recognition of her relentless advocacy on behalf of the homeless, it is my honor to present Pat Morgan the 2017 Distinguished Service Award. Come on.
Thank you so much for that glowing tribute. Most of it, some of it's true, some of it's a little shaky. She didn't say anything about, I know somebody told me one time that they were in the faculty lounge and somebody said, "Good God, Mark, you got Pat Morgan in 2 classes in one day?" But I want to thank you so much. I'm honored, and those who know me well know I'm not usually humble, but I'm very humbled by this, to be selected for this award, and to be able to thank Rhodes College and the people who made it possible for me to do the very best I could to help homeless people and to make it my life's work. I'm especially grateful to, if I don't read some of this, I'll forget it because I'm pushing 79 next month. I'm especially grateful to the Alumni Committee's Executive Board for validating my work with this honor. What I've tried to do for help homeless people for the past 34 years, and to former Congressman Bill Alexander for nominating me. But I wouldn't be here if the Day Foundation hadn't come up with the adult degree program, which was an absolute lifeline for people like me. It was for minority students. When that day meant poor, old women. You know, I don't think race was a part of it. I'm sure it wasn't. But at any rate, I absolutely, positively would not be standing here if it were not for Mark Pullman. He's the one who recommended, he not only recommended, he nominated me for the Time Award and didn't tell me until he'd already done it and just needed another piece of information. And he was the one who opened the door for me to go to Washington. When he calmly suggested that I might want to go to Washington, to American University, and cap my degree with a semester in Washington politics. Thank you, Mark, from the bottom of my heart, and to his wonderful wife, Barb, who's been there for us all the way through, too. I'm also grateful to so many other people, including the Reverend Doug Bailey, who opened the doors of Calvary to homeless people through the street ministry, and opened them to me, too. Oh, a girl from Turl, Arkansas, that always wondered what I was doing in Memphis. To former Vice President and then Senator Al Gore for letting me be his intern. Seriously, the oldest Senate intern I think they'd ever had or ever will have. And it opened my eyes to the legislative process. I learned more in those 3 months than I learned in the rest of my time in Washington, except working on the campaign and in the U.S. Interagency Council on Homelessness in HUD. There's a bug on my ear, on my nose. Also, I can't say enough for Governor Bill Clinton, who inspired me to do more than I ever thought a girl from Turl, Arkansas, population 543, could ever do. And then to President Bill Clinton, who gave me the opportunity to then do it. I want to thank my friends, my wonderful friends, who have listened to my stories of homeless people over and over and over. And the older I get, the more they listen to the same stories. And manage to stop rolling their eyes, you know. I want to thank my friends, too, who've been so wonderfully supported, all my good friends. And the hundreds of homeless people, how can I thank them? They stole my heart, too often broke it, but profoundly influenced my life and enabled me to live out my dreams. Finally, I would not be standing here if I had not had the support of my wonderful family, especially my sons, Milton, Mike, and Mitch, who never questioned my passion for homeless people. They might have thought I was a little crazy sometimes, but they let it go. They never tried to talk me out of doing anything, even though they thought it was not going to be very helpful to me or to my security or my safety. And for them, I'm eternally grateful. Thank you all so very much for this wonderful honor.
Jamar McCain, President of the Black Student Association, will now present the Black Student Association Distinguished Alumni Award. Jamar is a junior from North Augusta, South Carolina, majoring in philosophy. He is a member of the Rhodes College 2017 National Championship Mock Trial Team, Voices, and Men of Distinction. Jamar is also a student associate for the Digital Media Lab. Following graduation, he plans on teaching with Teach for America, then attending law school to pursue a career in law-related education. Ladies and gentlemen, Jamar McCain.
Thank you so much for the introduction, and good morning to everyone. This year is a monumental year for Rhodes, 100 years of women, 50 years of Black women, and it's only getting started. It is my honor to once again acknowledge a woman who, in my few days of meeting her and knowing her, has inspired me to do more things than I could possibly imagine. And with that, I would now like to acknowledge BSA's 2017 Distinguished Alumna of the Year, our phenomenal woman, Dr. Sandra Shelton. At this time, Dr. Shelton, would you please join me on stage? Established in 1998, the Black Student Association's Distinguished Alumni Award recognizes those African American alumni whose record of outstanding personal achievement and service to others has inspired Rhodes students and brought honor to their alma mater. It is my honor and privilege to stand up here today with Dr. Sandra Shelton, our 2017 award recipient. Now, we must ask ourselves, how did we get to this point of honoring Dr. Shelton? Such a phenomenal woman. Well, as the late Maya Angelou once said, maybe it's the reach in her arms, the stride in her step, or the curl of her lips. Well, let's talk about what we know so far. Dr. Shelton graduated from Rhodes College in 1976 with a degree in economics and business administration, and she was a member of the Black Student Association in her time. She obtained her MBA in finance from Indiana University, Bloomington, and then her PhD in accounting from the University of Wisconsin. Dr. Shelton currently serves as the KPMG Distinguished Professor of Accountancy and the Director of the Internal Auditing Program in the School of Accountancy and MIS at Driehaus College of Business. Professor Shelton has served as a member of the faculty at DePaul University since the fall of 1994. She was recognized as the Educator of the Year by the Chicago chapter of the Institute of Internal Auditors 2 times, in 2008 and 2014. Professor Shelton was also recognized as a 2014 inductee in the PhD Project Hall of Fame as one of a select few who have inspired many. Professor Shelton teaches undergraduate and graduate auditing, fraud examination, and internal auditing and corporate governance classes. She teaches in the School of Accountancy and a course in the finance department. Dr. Shelton serves on the boards of Evanston Community Foundation, Second Baptist Church Trustee Board, North Shore Chapter of the Links Incorporated as the president, and the pioneering Healthier Communities Evanston Task Force. Now, even after learning all of these things, we still must ask ourselves, how did we get to this point? Calling upon the late Maya Angelou once again, maybe it's the fire in her eyes, the flash of her teeth, or the joy in her feet. When asked that same question, the president of the KPMG U.S. Foundation Bernie Milano, said, "I can't think of anyone more deserving of the Rhodes College Black Student Association Distinguished Alumna of the Year Award than Dr. Sandra Shelton. I first met Sandra in 1993 by phone when I called to inform her that she was to be one of the first recipients of the newly created KPMG Accounting Doctoral Scholarship Awards. My call came as a surprise to Sandra because she hadn't applied for the scholarship and wasn't sure how I got her name. That phone call was the beginning of a long, wonderfully exciting journey and friendship. Sandra became an active member of the Accounting Doctoral Students Association, serving as a presenter and member of the planning committee as a faculty advisor. Now, when asked a similar question, Michael Kimbrough, an associate professor at the University of Maryland, had a similar but very distinct answer. He said, "I am sure you will find many people who can attest to Professor Shelton's impressive accomplishments as a scholar and teacher. Her professional achievements alone deserve recognition. The unique perspective he can provide is as someone who has benefited from her tireless advocacy from increased diversity and business school education. She has been at the forefront of the effort to diversify business school faculty since she earned her PhD at the University of Wisconsin. When Dr. Shelton was pursuing her doctoral studies, there were only a handful of African American doctoral candidates in accounting across more than 100 PhD granting institutions in the US. Based on her own experiences, she, without a supportive network, understood the unique challenges minority doctoral students face in navigating PhD programs. Therefore, when the KPMG Foundation decided to address the lack of minority business school faculty by creating a pipeline of minority doctoral students in business, Dr. Shelton enthusiastically joined the effort by becoming a founding member of the PhD Project, which provides a supportive network for prospective and current doctoral students in all areas of business. For anyone who has started the journey to becoming a business school professor in the past 2 decades, Dr. Shelton has likely been there at the start of that journey. Dr. Shelton's discussion of whether pursuing a PhD is an investment or a sacrifice has become an annual tradition and a highlight of the annual PhD Project Conference for prospective doctoral students. For those who decide to pursue a PhD, Dr. Shelton continues to be a source of encouragement and mentorship. She's a regular presence at the annual Accounting Doctoral Student Association meeting for current doctoral students, where she generously shares practical advice such as how to publish one's dissertation in a top academic journal. In short, Dr. Shelton has paved the way for all the minority doctoral students and business school professors who have come after her through her encouragement, mentorship, and advocacy. In so doing, she has had a positive impact not only on the students she has personally taught, but on students throughout the country who have benefited by learning from a more diverse set of professors. Now, after hearing these remarks from her contemporaries, what could we possibly say about Dr. Shelton? Well, one last time, I think Maya Angelou said it best. Now we understand just why her head's not bowed. She don't jump about or have to talk real loud. When you see her passing, it ought to make you proud. I say it's the click of her heels, the bend of her hair, the palm of her hand, the need for her care. Because she's a woman. Phenomenal woman. That's our Dr. Sandra Shelton. With that, I am honored on behalf of the Black Student Association to present Dr. Sandra Shelton with the 2017 BSA Distinguished Alumni Award.
Thank you, Jamar, for that gracious introduction. It's amazing. I'm honored and greatly appreciate being selected as the 2017 Black Student Association distinguished alumni. And I want to thank my family for being here with me today. My mother, my brother Sel, his wife Stephanie, my nephew Trey. You're going to have to pardon me, I've got to call them out. My cousin Travis, his wife Phyllis, my Aunt Madeline, my Uncle James, my cousins Cleo and Peggy, and then my classmate from 1st through the 12th grade, Stanley, who's here with me today. So thank you so much for your support. It's good to be back at Rhodes. I had the privilege of serving on the Women in Leadership panel on Thursday, and how appropriate that panel, which is a part of the 100 Years of Women at Rhodes celebration, would be moderated by the first female president of Rhodes, Dr. Marjorie Haas, and it's a pleasure to meet her. I also had the opportunity to meet with members of the Black Student Association, and I was delighted to be informed that the BSA over the years has grown from about 30 students when I was here in the mid-70s to almost 200 students today. And that is reflective of Rhodes' commitment to creating a climate of diversity, emphasizing dignity and respect for others. So I'm proud to be a part of the Rhodes alum. This is a full circle moment for me. I remember first being introduced to Southwestern. You have to forgive me, Rhodes will always be Southwestern in my heart. But I was first introduced to Southwestern as a senior in high school. And as valedictorian of my class, I was invited with other students to come to a weekend at Rhodes celebration. And we came on campus, we stayed in the dorms, we got to meet with students, we talked about the curriculum at Rhodes, and I was so excited. And my family was excited for me. As now, Rhodes was special, and my family and I realized that. And so the reputation of Rhodes was strong then, but it's only gotten stronger over the years as a college with a rigorous curriculum ranked nationally as one of the top liberal arts colleges in the country, with the added benefit of being ranked nationally as having one of the most beautiful campuses in the country, and also in being ranked as providing the greatest opportunities for service for its students. You have heard it said, and the quote is attributed to Winston Churchill, "You make a living by what you get, you make a life by what you give." And I can attest to the fact that the rigorous curriculum at Rhodes and the benefits of a liberal arts education will equip graduates with the foundation for success in whatever career they choose. And I always encourage my students to follow their passion for the greatest success. Additionally, it's important to take the extra, and I contend the most rewarding step, to go beyond making a living to making a life by paying it forward to make a difference in the lives of others. I always tell my students, your career is what you do, your service is who you are. And I view career success as providing greater opportunities to lift others as you climb. Well, I am thankful for my accomplishments in the profession and publication, research, and service to the profession. I am rewarded by the opportunities that I have to make a difference in the lives of my students that I mentor, identify faculty to pursue doctorates, and also to mentor students in PhD programs across the country through the PhD project and other work that I do. So I thank you again for this award. I feel blessed and honored to receive it.
No, my papers are all messed up. Give me a second here. And something's missing. So, thank you so much. Okay. I now call on President Haas to present the Distinguished Alumni Award. President Haas? Oh, and she'll be here in just a second. So, it didn't matter that my papers were all messed up. The great thing is I can see this with these glasses. Now I can see you without
I'm
those.
perfect. I'm
President
ready.
Haas, great.
My husband's a performer, and in show business they go like this: stretch, keep going, keep going. So, well, I have a wonderful honor as well, and that is to introduce the Rhodes Distinguished Alumna of 2017. So I'd like to invite Dr. Joe McCord to please come forward. The Distinguished Alumni Award recognizes an alumnus or alumna who has brought honor to Rhodes College through extraordinary achievement in his or her profession and community. And today, I'm honored to present this award, the 2017 Distinguished Alumni Award, to Dr. Joe Milton McCord from the class of 1966. Born and raised in Memphis, Joe graduated from Central High School before beginning his studies at Southwestern at Memphis in 1962. It's hard for me to say that, really. Where Joe intended to pursue a degree in chemical engineering. But his path changed after he spent 2 summers working in the lab of chemistry professor Harold Lyons, and that was where his interest in research was cultivated. Under Dr. Lyons' direction, Joe changed career paths and pursued a degree in chemistry, graduating with honors in 1966. After Southwestern at Memphis, now Rhodes College, Joe was accepted into a graduate school at Duke University Medical Center, which is one of the very top biochemistry programs in the nation. At Duke, Joe joined the lab of biochemist Dr. Erwin Friedovich, who specialized in the chemistry of enzymes. At the time, Dr. Friedovich was testing a theory on how enzymes get cells to make uric acid. There's going to be a quiz on this at the end, so pay close attention. And Joe was assigned by his senior professor to confirm his hypothesis. But despite Joe's repeated efforts to prove Dr. Friedovich's premise, nothing worked. In desperation, and no doubt with a great deal of courage for a graduate student, Joe proposed changing his mentor's theory. They knew that uric acid reaction had to involve an oxygen atom. And since none of the combinations they had tried were working, Joe suggested the oxygen atom might be a super energetic oxygen atom came to be known as superoxide dismutase, or SOD. Be careful on that. Superoxide is known as a free radical, a class of atoms and molecules that are missing an electron and thus are unstable. They exist for only a millionth of a second. Joe's discovery that SOD is present, or SODs are present at relatively constant levels in all living oxygen-dependent cells, led to the understanding that free radicals were produced in all oxygen-dependent forms of life. In excessive concentrations, free radicals are now known to be the single major cause of aging and many diseases such as arthritis, heart disease, and stroke. Prior to Joe's discovery, most scientists didn't even recognize that free radicals could be inside a living cell. But Joe proved their existence, and by 1971, SOD was recognized as essential for the protection of cells against free radical production and the very first known antioxidant, which many of us hear about from our doctors and from the women who do our facials. Joe's groundbreaking discovery and further research of SOD with Dr. Friedovich was acknowledged in 1997 when they were awarded as a team the Elliott Cresson Medal, one of the most prestigious comprehensive science awards in the world. This award honors the greatest men and women of science, engineering, and technology. To give you a sense of that, here are some other recipients, besides Joe, of the Elliott Cresson Medal. Marie and Pierre Curie, Alexander Graham Bell, Orville Wright, and Nikola Tesla. After completing his PhD in 1970, Joe served on the faculty at Duke for 6 years. He then served as professor and chair of the Department of Biochemistry at the University of South Alabama, and then 16 years as professor of medicine, biochemistry, biophysics, molecular genetics, microbiology, and immunity at the University of Colorado Health Science Center in Denver, and the head of the Division of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology at the Webb Warring Institute. And I think that long list of fields he has influenced gives you a real sense of the breadth of Joe's work. Over the years, Joe has received hundreds of thousands of dollars in research grants. His work has been published in major medical journals, and his research has been cited in more than 50,000 peer-reviewed articles. In addition to the Elliott Crescent Award, Joe has also received the Discovery Award for Free Radical Biology and Medicine and the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Oxygen Society for outstanding contributions in the field of free radical biology and medicine. His co-discovery of SOD and his contributions to free radical biology have laid the foundation for a wide range of studies with applications in cardiovascular disease, cancer, neurology, and medicine, as well as general health and longevity. At Rhodes, Joe was known to his fellow chemistry majors and classmates as a quiet, serious student with a deliciously droll sense of humor, who didn't like to draw attention to himself. But Joe's monumental discovery of SOD and his pioneering work in his field has turned Joe into a bit of a scientific rock star. According to one of his former students, Rhodes alumnus Dr. John Marecki, class of 1990, this is what John said. While he does not wish to admit it, his notoriety in the free radical and oxidative stress scientific community has led to the gathering of scientific groupies at international meetings and conferences. While Joe's presence doesn't elicit a fan's frenzy that quite rivals the Beatles, groups of students in sciences often excitedly vie for a discussion, a picture, and even occasionally his autograph. In the biomedical research, this is a famous man. In the world of biomedical research, this is a famous man. As important as his pioneering research has been to the science and medical community, perhaps Joe's most significant contribution has been as a teacher and mentor. Says John Marecki, his greatest contribution to the scientific community has been providing a dynamic and enriching environment for many young students to study, discover, and grow into similarly intensely curious, always inquisitive, and sometimes wacky scientists. End quote. Joe's contributions to basic science and to medicine stand as a beacon not only to the Rhodes community, but to the nation and to the world. And it is with great pleasure that I present the 2017 Distinguished Alumni Award to Dr. Joe Milton McCord. Thank you.
I understand what you've been doing for the last 100 days now. I've spent many hours in this auditorium, but this is the first time I've ever had this view of it, so it's different. I want to acknowledge two people in particular, and Dr. Haas has mentioned both of them already. One is the late Professor Harold Lyons. And I can't say enough about not teaching chemistry. That's what he was supposed to do, and he did. But he took me under his wing as probably no one ever did before or after. I don't think I knew what graduate school was when I came here. I thought I would become a chemical engineer, and when I took a first course in biochemistry, that changed. That was my interest. He took me into his lab to work for 2 summers, and I knew that's what I wanted to do, and I think before I knew it, he knew it. And I was telling these guys who so politely showed up today from my class that one Saturday, Harold Lyons took 4 of us chemistry majors in his car, drove us to Nashville to visit the Department of Biochemistry at Vanderbilt, to let us see firsthand what a graduate department looked like, to see students doing research. And it was a world I never knew existed, and it opened doors and opened worlds that I never imagined. I think the other person that deserves special mention is my mentor at Duke, Erwin Friedovich. And you heard a lot of scientific nomenclature there that probably went where it should have, right past. But Dr. Friedovich gave me a view of what scientists do and how science works that is far, far beyond the specific project that was involved. And something I had just never realized, but it made such perfect sense to me that it too has affected not only my life as a scientist, but my life as a human being. Scientists spend their time looking for truth, for facts, for true, that's redundant, but true facts, things that are reproducible and observations that hold true. And that's one level of what they do. Above that, they build a hypothesis, that is, knowing a large number of these facts, that you piece them together and say, this is how I think something works, and then you try to fill it in with new facts that either build it up or say, no, you were wrong, this fact doesn't fit. Well, what's immutable is the truth. And those facts will last throughout that hypothesis, and if it becomes true, it becomes facts. And if the hypothesis falls, the facts are still true. You can't change the data. You can't change the truth to fit the hypothesis. You have to change the hypothesis to accommodate the truth. And that extends well beyond science. And the older I get, the truer that all becomes. So I'm just deeply indebted to these 2 men. I have no idea what my life would have been like without either one of them. It wouldn't have been anything like it turned out to be. Deeply indebted to Rhodes. I was, as has already been mentioned, kind of the shy townie. It wasn't mentioned I was a townie. That's my one regret. I really wish I had been here to get more of the whole experience. Thank you to Bob Wild, who pushed this thing through, I think, almost single-handedly. And thank you to all of you and to this great, great college. Thanks.
Congratulations to each of you. We are so pleased that members of your family and dear friends could be here to help celebrate the recognition you richly deserve. We want to take photos of you and your group, so please come to the stage immediately following convocation. Immediately following convocation today is the very festive student-led homecoming parade. Dr. Haas and our Distinguished Alumni Award recipients are riding in the parade, so we ask you to wait to extend your congratulations to the award recipients at the Alumni Picnic, which will be held in the new Bill and Carol Trout Quad behind Briggs Hall and Barrett Library once the parade has passed. We'll be serving a feast at the picnic featuring a taste of Memphis with Corky's Barbecue, Gus's Fried Chicken, and Fino's Italian Sandwiches. The reunion classes will have designated tables to make it easier for you to find and visit with your friends and classmates. If you have not yet purchased your picnic tickets, you can do so next to Barrett. Please take the opportunity to extend your congratulations to our Alumni Award recipients at the picnic. Also, there are still many more events today that are open to all alumni. refer to your pocket homecoming schedule for specific receptions and events, or ask a member of the Alumni Relations and Development staff if you need more information. And now I'm looking for the actual notes that I wrote that seem to have disappeared completely, that someone has taken accidentally. So I will reproduce those. Tracy asked me specifically not to do any extemporaneous speaking, but of course, I don't necessarily follow all the rules. I will make this very quick. So first off, I want to thank Tracy. Tracy's done an amazing job the last few years with our Alumni Association. 37 years ago, I came to Rhodes College as a transfer student and met Tracy in one of my first classes here, never knowing that my life would be changed by meeting her, meeting all of you, and meeting Southwestern and Memphis, now Rhodes College. Thank you, Tracy. And I had some really eloquent final thoughts that were dovetailing really well with what everyone said. Oh, I'm so glad you found that. Thank you so much. Okay? Finally, my personal thoughts. There we go. I already thanked Tracy. Okay. Each of us has a very unique relationship with Rhodes College. You know, when we came here, you know, during our time here, you know, and then from here. We each have a unique journey. Okay? During my time at Rhodes, it went from Southwestern, when I graduated in 1984, to, I believe, 9 days later to Rhodes College. That was a tad of a shock, but I think it was a great change. You know, in my lifetime here at Rhodes, we've had Presidents Jim Dodrell, Bill Trout, and now the very capable Dr. Marjorie Hass. Okay? Change is inevitable, and how we act to change is essential. Two brief final thoughts. One, I would ask that each of you reflect on what you have been given and what you took from your relationship with Rhodes. Okay? What changed you and what helped you? And secondly, when we ask for your help, as Dr. Haas said, you know, helping find students, bragging about the school, annual giving, or mentoring students, you know, ask that you reflect what you can do to give back, what you can give to our students, our alumni, our college, our Rhodes College. Thank you for coming home. Now please join me in singing our alma mater, performed by Marionelle Branch, after which our convocation is adjourned and we are dismissed. I will see you at the picnic and game. Enjoy your weekend. We are adjourned.